Do you remember when you could actually go outside and play without having to worry about the heat index? As a child, growing up, my life pretty much existed outside. That was my way of living. With me being 20 years of age, I can honestly say that the people before me can relate to the differences in their own childhood memories of being outside than opposed to now. It wasn't even that long ago when we, the state of Alabama, had our first remembered warm Christmas. I'm not too sure about you guys, but growing up, Christmas was ice cold and in the South without any snow. We even had our first pre-stage apocalyptic weather almost 3 years ago. As I talk about past weather, it is without say on what my speech will be about. Global warming is a real life and life phenomenon that needs to be taken seriously. We have already been made aware of what it is through movies, the news, and books, and most important of all, through science. Global warming is the gradual increase in the overall temperature of the atmosphere. The U.S. is the second contributing country of carbon dioxide emissions, with 16% in the recent article from the National Resource Defense Council, placing China as the first with 28%. Because this is a global happening, it is not something that we can easily stop overnight or even over a course of months. Through continued use from fossil fuels in generating electricity, we, the people of the United States, contribute close to 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year. The best way to fight, or in our case, reduce the exposure is to have key points in our everyday life. One is knowing how it is caused and becoming aware, which this speech will more than likely open up your mind about. And the other is knowing how it affects us and using other means that safely cut the harm. Being more knowledgeable about these key points can help not only the environment, but also your everyday living. Global warming is caused by high amounts of CO2, as well as other pollutants that stay stored up in the atmosphere, which then absorbs the solar radiation given off by the sunlight. How do you become aware? Now, you have to go in more depth with this question about every day, we always are aware of global warming, but we never consider how it affects our everyday life. Take your place of living and calculate how long you live there and ask yourself what changed the most throughout the time you lived there. If your answer isn't weather, then you, my friend, were thinking too broad. We all rely on the weather for just about everything we do in life. So what we wear, what we eat, and even on what events we plan. You wouldn't wear pants and a full winter coat during Independence Day. You wouldn't go eat ice cream outside on Christmas. You especially wouldn't go swimming in an open pool in January. Climate change is a very important aspect of our own way of living. Whatever the climate is, we plan accordingly to it. A good example is college football. We in the South all too well know about this tradition. Not going into detail about it, but we all look forward each year around the same time, as well as what the weather will always be. It takes place at the end of the summer when the weather is perfect to attend these games in public. Just by these important values that we each enjoy being a part of is more than enough to become aware of these climate change and how it affects us. In the past 50 years, the global temperature average has increased at an alarming rate. With the temperature rising, we as humans can become more vulnerable to infectious disease, as well as asthma and allergies becoming more common. All of this takes place due to the increasing levels of air pollution and pollen producing ragweed. We each are affected, some more than others. How can we safely help? Well, we all go on road trips to enjoy ourselves. Just recently in June, me and my family went to one on Texas. We drove there in a fully efficient truck that was able to carry 5 people as well as luggage. The trip itself took 12 and a half hours with moderate stops for gas. Because the car itself was built to help lower the harm of the environment and with it eco-friendly, was one of our many ways we were able to help safely cut the harm. From 2004 through 2014, we have drastically decreased the carbon dioxide emissions by using cleaner and more energy-efficient technology. In a nutshell, there are plenty of new and effective smaller ways that don't require you to drastically change your everyday livelihood. It is as simple as changing what type of light bulbs you use, or even bigger, using solar and wind power, which has contributed over 5% of U.S. electricity. When new energy-efficient technologies are becoming more used, not only are they cleaner than coal-based ones, they do less harm back to the environment. Global warming is a real-life phenomenon that needs to be taken seriously. Knowing what causes global warming, being aware about it, and how it affects us all play part in our lives now. As I close on how big a deal global warming is, I cannot stress enough how easy it is to make small changes. It is easy to get facts about this phenomenon, but some people don't actually believe anything unless you can prove it to them, which is where I close the statement. The proof is outside. The rain, the heat, and the cold. Just think back to December 25, 2015, when we all went outside wearing shorts.